What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Blonde Ambitions podcast. I have a returning guest. She is a triple board certified physician here in Bakersfield, California. She is the CEO of Youthology Med Spa. She's also a wife, a mother, and my friend. Dr. Agarwal, welcome back.
Thank you, Dianna. That's so kind of you.
Of course. And it is Stress Awareness Month, actually, which plays right into what we're going to talk about today, which is weight loss. And we're going to discuss the programs that she has at Youthology. So I'm excited to have you in.
Well, thank you, first of all, for inviting me back. I feel so honored. As you said, this is a Stress Awareness Month. So happy Stress Awareness Month, everybody. Let's take that stress off. Let's shed that stress off. Let's shed those pounds off. And first and foremost question, what is your why? Why do we want to lose weight, right? There could be so many reasons. It's the talk of the century, I would say. Everybody needs to lose weight. I need to lose weight. I need to do this. But what's your why? Is it because you have some medical conditions? Is it because you want to look better? Is it because my coworker is trying to lose weight and my friend is trying to lose weight, so I will do it? Is it just because you want to feel more energetic? You want to look more healthier and set some goals for yourself? It's because just you want to get rid of those habits, the lifestyles you have accumulated over a period of time because of whatever reason, busy schedules, kids, work, and you just want to change it around, turn it around, and be a healthy version of yourselves. And it could be a combination of one or all of those things. That's the first and the foremost step, I would say, before you dive into this journey and decide how. But why? Why do you want to do it? And even if you're trying it for a while, maybe take a pause. Take a little pause and why am I doing this? I mean, where would it lead me to? And that probably is the most powerful question you'll ask to yourself before you would want to achieve that why.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, is finding out why in all things, in all aspects of life. It's why am I doing this? Because there has to be a reason behind everything, right? Otherwise, what are you doing? So after we find out why we're doing this, we figure out what the issues are. How do we start that weight loss journey?
So this is a loaded question. I'm gonna maybe break it down. Well, everything starts with the starting point. So if you determine today, okay, I'm gonna lose 20 pounds. How do we start that? I think first and foremost, track where you are in your life. I mean, is it your lifestyle habits? Maybe your work schedule, maybe your kids, the way you live your life. It's so hard. The stress in life, talking about that stress awareness month, stress in life. I mean, what is limiting you not to get there, right? Where are you with that? Did you try something before and it did not work? Is it some limiting factors? I mean, can you not exercise because of some medical conditions, right? Or is it the diet? I mean, access to food. I mean, maybe the food we are cooking or we are buying, what you have in your pantry. So tracking where you are in that journey, right? Once you have tracked that, maybe pen it down, setting up some specific goals. The goals should be relevant. They should be realistic. It cannot be, oh, I'm going to lose 50 pounds just because that's my overweight weight. What is realistic? Knowing what is out there. Then finding some support, right? How you're going to do it, whether you're going to do it with some sort of our own self-guided program, determining what would cause the weight loss. A lot of people, and let me ask you this on that note, I'm putting you at the spot, but
Yes.
a lot of people don't even know how much calories they need to consume in order to stay healthy and in order to lose weight. So tell me what you know about that. Like how much as a female, what is your daily requirement and how would you determine, okay, this is my daily requirement and if I cut those or maybe I burn those, that's how I'm going to lose weight. So let me ask you that question.
Okay, let's see. I think, isn't it based on like a 2,000 calorie diet is the norm of what it should be? Obviously, exercise plays into that. I think for me, I don't really count calories. I just try to eat protein, especially getting, older, like women getting a little bit older into that 35, 40, 45-year-old range. I feel like protein is really important. I might be wrong. For me, it helps me just maintain the muscle mass that I have already. But it is tough to count the calories for sure. I definitely don't do that, and I probably should.
Yeah. So actually, great pointers. You actually touched on so many points in a nutshell. And you're very right. Around 2000 calories is a good average where, adult male or adult female, I would say female probably 18 to 2200, usually 2000 to 2500 is the range, right? Now, again, if we look at those calories in our body, how are they consumed on a daily basis? So there is this resting metabolic rate, and then there is an expenditure of energy there. So resting for females around 1600, males probably around 1800 to 2000. That's your normal, even if you're not doing anything, sitting on that chair, sitting on the couch all day, just by all the body metabolisms, that's the amount of energy your body would burn. So there's the amount of calories that it would burn. Now, on top of that, depending upon your day-to-day activities, your physical activities, how much food you consume, right? Because again, there is this thermogenic energy from the food that burns the calories. So how much, that's your metabolic rate of your your GI tract, your stomach, and all those things. When you're eating the food, it's burning that, right? So those calories are consumed when you're eating the food. So yes, eating food also burns some calories, right? But then also, what is your activity level? So those are the things that determine how much intake of the calories that you should be having. Simple maths is, calorie in and calorie out. If you count the calories that you're taking in and you count the calories minus the calories you're taking out, that's the amount of calories that you are in access every day. But like you said, it's so complex. It's not maths. We don't live our lives like that. And it's just so hard to understand. But having some basic knowledge of that probably helps you start out. So just for example, talking about proteins that you touched, eating more proteins. A gram of protein and a gram of fat, your macros, right? What are your macros? Your proteins, your fats, and your carbohydrates. Those are the three macronutrients we have in our diet. So a gram of protein and a gram of carbohydrates has equal amount of calories that they release when you're eating, which is like 4 kilocalories, right? Fat has 9 kilocalories. So that's when we say, oh, replace the carb with the protein, you're replacing those calories with the healthy calories. And why is it healthy? We'll talk about that in a second. But that's where the knowledge comes in that, when you're eating healthier, even if you're consuming the same amount of calories, where they are coming from is important. Not just, oh, I consume 2000 calories. That's my intake. Oh, I ate a bunch of sugars, some jelly beans, right? Candies, breads. Amazing. Well, if that is that simple, we would all be good with just doing the simple calculation, picking up a bag of chips, counting the calories, and be done with it, right? But it is a little bit more complex. So when you are trying to track your progress, what are your lifestyle habits? What are your daily habits? Do you eat 3 meals a day? I mean, are you a person who do not eat breakfast? You skip the breakfast, but then you're super hungry and you're a snacker, right? Or maybe you're just eating the healthy meals through the day, but then you have this craving at night, the midnight snacking, right? Or maybe I get stressed and then I grab something which is my comfort food, and that's kind of offsetting my goals. So determining all those factors are important. So touching back to where you are with the calories and how much you should be consuming when you're working on losing weight, as crazy as it may sound, but exercise is not going to make you lose weight. It would make you continue that healthy weight if you are on a healthy weight. It would help you sustain that weight loss if you lost that weight. But if you are on the weight loss journey trying to reset, trying to start with a goal, exercise alone is not going to help you. Now, don't take me wrong there. It's not that I'm not telling you not to exercise, because again, that's a very vital part. But you also need to understand what you're consuming is playing a bigger part. 80% is that, 20% is how you are doing the expenditure is important. Because again, as exercise, we say, DC says 150 minutes a week. 150 minutes a week is basically, if you're breaking it down, dividing by 7, I mean, or say 5, I'm taking a weekend break, just 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day of moderate activity is just going to keep you healthy, right? So if you're doing double than that, say, so 150 minutes per week of moderate activity, probably if you give or take, 100 to 150 calories a day is burning. So end of week, maximum, do your maths. I mean, 72,000 calories. A gram of fat, if you're trying to lose, you have to lose 3,500 calories. So, there is this deficit there, right?
Yeah.
So, if you're really trying to do vigorous activity, you have to burn that many calories, 3,500 calories to lose 1 pound of fat. But when you're exercising, you're also building your muscle. So, you're building your muscle, you get more hungry if you're exercising more. So, that's kind of offsetting. So I'm not trying to pull you away from exercise, but what I'm trying to say, it has to be a combination of both.
Right.
100% diet, definitely exercise, incorporate it. But when you start a weight loss journey, like today is the day I'm going to set my goal, this is my day one to weight loss, I won't say go hit the gym for 2 hours if you're not doing that. If you're already doing that, amazing. But then we have to look into what is causing that weight gain. I mean, is it this healthy weight, which is the muscle mass, or do you have so much of fat that we have to burn, right? And again, genetics plays a role, your lifestyle plays a role, your environment plays a role, so many factors out there. As much as we say we cannot change the genetics, actually there are so many genes we can modify by keeping a healthy lifestyle. So,
Wow.
great news is, can you change your genes? Well, maybe not the genes, but you can change how they are being expressed in your life. So down the road, two people from the same family, strong family history of diabetes, which is, as doctors we take, oh, what's your family history? One get diabetic, the other doesn't. A lot of time, the role, lifestyle role, your stress, your eating habits, your sleep patterns, your age, so many factors have to have the role that is being played by the environment, which are modifying your genes, causing that expression. And weight loss, again, is a genetic disease. And I'm calling it a disease. I know I'm kind of a little bit more medical here, but eventually that's the call, that's the cry in our community in obesity medicine. We are asking to be labeled as a metabolic disease, because not necessarily because we are trying to put you on drugs, because that's where people identify it before even it's causing other problems, before it's causing metabolic syndrome, your heart disease, your cholesterol, even expression of so many cancers. So that's why when you identify that, oh, overweight or obesity is what the issue is, and try to sort it out there before it gets to the expression of so many other problems. So, coming back to the weight loss part of it, like I said, diet is a big part, exercise is a big part of maintaining it, but combination somewhere, and identifying what would be your combination there. There's nothing like one size fits all. Oh, let's just count our calories, let's do a keto diet, or let's do this diet, and it would work. Everything works in some extent if you do it right and if you stay on it, and that's the biggest part of it.
Would you say that, which brings me to this next question, is fasting, would you say that it is better than any type of a diet program like that you just mentioned, like a keto diet, for example?
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
So again, if we stop,
Complex question.
right? Yeah. If we stop eating, would we lose weight? Well, 100%. Let's just stop eating completely and the problem solved, right? So, again, let's see how our bodies are made, right? When our bodies are made, as we, through evolution, right? These are vessels that, we are made, and again, in drought or in famine versus when we are in access, the bodies are made to store the food, right? So whenever we are eating this vessel, our body, if we have excess calories, it's going to store it. It's going to keep for that famine, right? That's how the body works when we are evolving, when we are, comparing that to a vessel. So whenever you are eating excess calories, it's storing. So when we stop eating, it will pull those calories and it would burn it, and problem solved. Having said that, our bodies are also very resilient, right? So our metabolic rate resets itself, body resets itself when you're consuming less calories and you are on that, say, 1200 kcal, 1000 kilocalorie diet. I am really doing intermittent fasting. I'm the 16-8 for a while. and I am at that plateau. Maybe initially I lost weight, but now I'm at a plateau that I'm not able to lose weight, right? So it resets the body metabolism. It goes into that safety mode. I can only consume 800 calories out of those 1,000 to carry out my daily activities. That's what your body, your brain says, and it resets it. So now, even when you're consuming 1,000 calories, you're not able to lose weight. Am I going to go on 500? No, I think shaking up your metabolism at that point of time is the key. So, what is, again, coming back to the question, is one better over the other? One kind of diet is better over the other, or fasting is better over diet? There is no right or wrong to it. Setting a goal, see what works to it, for you, finding out, okay, this is what I'm going to do, which would eventually lead me to the goal. And at some point of time during that journey, you would hit that plateau. You would hit that point where whatever you're doing is still not working. Okay, and you were doing everything right. Great, I lost 10 pounds in 3 months. Now I'm that plateau where I'm not moving an inch or, a pound on the scale. And that's
Yes.
that's normal. So many factors play the role. Your metabolic rate reset, your hormones, being females in the middle age, hormones play a big role right there, right? Or maybe you lost weight, but oh, I still keep that little belly pouch there. And I'm looking leaner, I'm doing my cardio, I'm watching my calories, but then I have that little pouch there where whatever I do, I'm not able to lose weight. So there are so many more factors that play a role, and not I'm not saying that you should know everything, but again, understanding that if something is working, great, but if something is not working, what changes you need to do, right?
Hmm.
So it's not like one is better over the other. How you get to that point is important. So setting that goal up, starting out with something, going back to tracking your progress, where you are at this point of time. What's the issue that is affecting your weight? Your lifestyle is the issue. Is craving is the issue? It could be a combination of, oh, I don't have time in my life, so I eat whatever, right? I don't do meal preps. I eat whatever I have access to. I eat out a lot because I'm a social person, and those are so many things. Or I have kids. I eat whatever they eat. I walk with them. I finish their leftovers. There's so many factors that play the role, but identifying them and understanding that where we'll go from there. Now, coming back to the same question of fasting, is it better? I mean, there are researches, there's so many papers, so many researches, so many books written, so many, people, intelligent people talking about fasting, right? Intermittent fasting, there are patterns to it. Do they work? I mean, I think the best, I was reading an article, and what I did read is, if you're doing on a regular basis some intermittent fasting, like pick 3 days of the week, I'm going to be intermittent fasting those days. Now, I'm not saying those 4 days are the days you can eat whatever, howsoever, but maybe that would keep you sustainable. That would keep you on that goal of losing weight, or continue the weight you are on if it is a healthy weight. So I would say like 3 days of, and I'm just throwing a number there. These are my intermittent fasting days. The other days I'm going to eat, but I'm still going to watch what I eat. So those are the suggestions I would make right there. Because remember, when you're doing intermittent fasting, how much exercise you're doing on those days. Maybe intermittent fasting you're doing over the weekend, right? Those are the days you're really not doing rigorous physical activity. So you can sustain on the intermittent diet, or the 16 hours of fasting if that's what you're following, right? So 16/8 is a very common one that people do: 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of eating, 16 hours of fasting. That's a very common pattern. And in that fasting period, you're really not doing so much of vigorous activity that is going to cause that deficit and causing hypoglycemia at that point of time.
Good point. Yes, because I do have hypoglycemia, so that's good to know.
Right.
Yeah. Do you think that people with hypoglycemia should be really careful with doing the intermittent fasting?
So hypoglycemia per se, if I talk medical, until unless there is a metabolic disease, underlying metabolic disease, hypoglycemia is actually not a problem. It's
Okay.
probably because hyperglycemia, which is diabetes or eventually prediabetes to diabetes, is an issue. Normally, your body, your insulin metabolism, your metabolic system in the body is set to where it can keep normal sugars, right? That's how they are made. That is a question for your primary care or for your physician to evaluate that. But hypoglycemia is not something like hypotension, which is low blood pressure, is not a problem, right? It's not a labeled issue. Somebody's keeping a low blood pressure or low blood sugar, maybe that's their normal. That's where they sustain. So that's not a problem. Hypoglycemia comes into play when you actually have low blood sugar, measurable low blood sugar, and you have symptoms related to that. But if your sugar is 80 or 70 and you're feeling normal, that's normal. That's not hypoglycemia per se. I mean, does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah. I've always had low blood sugar. And my dad actually had diabetes. I believe he got it when he was 8.
Okay.
I think it's is that type 1? He was insulin dependent. And then I was always told that I got the hypoglycemia from him having, technically, he passed it down to me kind of, because when I was pregnant, I had gestational diabetes only when I was pregnant. So it was the weirdest thing. So I was always curious about that.
Right.
Yeah.
So your dad was, definitely type 1 diabetic, right? Insulin dependent. Even though you would think that is something, so that the part of it is, good part is, that is not hereditary. So he's
Yeah.
not passing on type 1 diabetes to you, if that's what
Right.
the question is, right? The fact that you had gestational diabetes puts you at risk of diabetes later in life if you don't do something now.
Oh, wow. That's not good.
Yeah, maintaining a healthy lifestyle. So that is one of the big risk factors right there, putting you at risk of developing. And again, I'm not breaking the bad news to you. I'm just kind of giving you a little
No,
insight.
totally. Yeah.
So
This is
that's
great.
that. Hypoglycemia, like I said, is not a diagnosis.
Okay.
It's a symptom. My sugar is low and it made me pass out, and I check my blood sugar. So when you're vigorously exercising, your body is taking those stores of sugar and breaking it and providing it to your muscles to pump the ATP where they can work on. Right. So if your body stores are low, right? If you are really lean and thin, I mean, you are great, looks like you are in great shape, great body weight. Do you need to consume some food before you go into this vigorous activity? You should, right? And that's what I meant when I said intermittent fasting. If you're doing prolonged periods of fasting and then you jump on with this cardio aerobic exercises, 2 hours, maybe running a marathon, right? Like we did this weekend. If you're doing that without eating, without loading upfront, without some calories, how would your body be able to break that if you don't have the stores and if you don't have the energy, like consumption of that? You would go into that episodic hypoglycemia if you're
Yes.
burning, and there is nothing in your body to feed that burning.
Totally makes sense. Yes. Because I do definitely have to eat a lot of protein again and to fill my body up so I have enough to, when I teach Pilates and I teach different things. And so I have to eat in 120-degree heat. And so, it takes a lot out of your body. And then usually afterwards, when I do a workout or I teach in the heat, I'll, get a rush of sugar from like an apple juice or something
Probably get
to
a little shaky or yeah.
yes. It sucks sometimes having the hypoglycemia, but it doesn't really affect my daily life that much. So yeah, great info there.
Well, on that note, by the way, Pilates, and again, 120 degrees in Pilates. Gosh, I have to make it one of these days there, right?
Yeah, you need to come, Shweta. When are you coming?
But I think what you're doing is determining how healthy you are, right? So it's basically you burn all that excess calories and now you have nothing else left to burn once you're done with that class. And that's why you're running for something to consume, right? And when you started out, you loaded yourself with some healthy calories, which were able to burn, right? So that's exactly what I meant when I said somebody who is a healthy weight, if they are doing the exercise, you are mobilizing those calories to your muscles rather than your fat stores. So what you consumed is now going to move to your muscle and you would burn it out, right? So that's a healthy way of doing it. So hypoglycemia probably is not a problem. Again, it's caused by that you were able to burn all those calories you consume and now they are mobilized to the right direction to your muscles rather than staying in the storage as fat.
Okay. That's so
That's,
good to know.
yeah.
Thank you for clearing that up for me. I don't think anyone's ever done that. I hope that helps somebody out there. I know that there's a lot of people that have low blood sugar. So low blood sugar, unite.
There you go, right?
Back to the weight loss stuff really quick before we talk about some of the programs that you offer, Dr. Agarwal. What are some of the GLP-1 drugs and how do they help going back to the weight loss?
Okay, now you got me in my zone. right?
Who's
So
down, Shweta? Go for it.
right. So GLP-1 drugs, again, it's a big buzzword out there, right? With everybody, Ozempic, Manjaro, Zepbound, Wegovy, semaglutide, tirzepatide. What are these things, right? They are GLP-1. So if I'm talking medical, right, the GLP stands for glucagon-like peptide-1 drugs. And what these do, these medications help your body in several ways. Amazing medications, right? They initially came out in the market to help with diabetes, to treat diabetes, right? Why? Because they are causing your pancreas to secrete insulin, which is glucose dependent. So, when people for years and years, when they were with diabetes, consuming insulin, which is again causing the weight gain, they took that out, right? Now these medications are actually secreted in your gut. The GLP is a peptide which is secreted in your gut, in your small intestine. And that causes your pancreas to secrete the insulin so that it can regulate the sugar. And why is insulin important? Because that's the one which is regulating the glucose metabolism in the body. People who are diabetic are deficient in insulin in one way or the other. So that's where these medications, when they made these medications, so this peptide, which is a part of your small intestine, secreted by these specific cells, somehow the response is blunted over time, that it's not secreted, and there's different metabolism to why it was not. So when we are consuming these medications from outside, on prescription, injectables, or now they are orals also, they are working the same way your body GLP-1 peptide is working on the pathway to cause the insulin to regulate your sugar metabolism. Now, what they found out with these medications, which is amazing side effect of these medications, is they're going to make you feel fuller. I mean, your stomach, your gastric emptying is delayed. And that's why the stomach feels fuller for a longer time. So you don't feel hungry. The other part of it is it's actually going to your hypothalamus, to your brain, telling your brain, oh, I'm not hungry, I'm full. So basically, these medications suppress your hunger, suppress your cravings. And that's how they are helping with the weight loss, not necessarily with how they are working for diabetes. Now, if they're helping with the weight loss, now eventually that's helping with the diabetes. So this whole circle around helping with your diabetes directly and indirectly while causing the weight loss or not causing the weight gain, because they're delaying the gastric emptying, they're making your brain think, oh, I'm full, so I don't want to eat. So people who have issues with the craving, with hungers, with episodic eating, those are the people who actually feel benefited by these medications. We now, again, cost was a big issue when they came out in the market with the trade names, when they were out there. So a lot of people, even they know the insurance doesn't cover it, or they're not candidates because they're not diabetic. But why would you want to be waiting to be diabetic before you need, where you can take this and help you lose weight or help you with the weight loss program, if that makes sense. So
Mm-hmm.
now we have generics out there, compounded medications out there, and they are totally safe. They are FDA cleared and approved, which we can dispense, and they can help you. Now, mind it, help you, not make you replace the program you're doing. They're amazing out there, helping people achieve their goals.
Okay, so talking about these GLP-1 drugs, who are great candidates for these injectables, if you will? And what are your thoughts on kind of the taboo? What are your thoughts on the GLP-1 drugs in general?
So, great question, and thank you for asking that. Because out there, a lot of people are like, "Oh no, I don't want to go on these medications because if I do, I have to be sticking to these, and this is for life, and they're not good for your body." And I have all sorts of people coming to me asking me these questions and sitting down, having a little talk, little insight on how they work, like we talked about earlier, is important, first of all, to identify that. And identifying also, it's not like, oh, it's a replacement. I'm doing this weight loss program. I cannot do the diet. That's why I'm going to go to the doctor and get these medication and lose the weight. It's not going to work that way, right? Like I said earlier, they are making your brain think that you are full. They are dealing the gastric emptying. So that's how they work. You have to have a diet component in there. The good part is it's not like you have to stick to a certain diet. But in nutshell, and this is what I preach every day when I'm doing these weight loss consults in my clinic or in my place as well, is there are 5 components to it. Number 1, cutting the carbs, right? Replacing those carbs, processed foods, the carbs which are making you gain the weight, giving you easy access to calories, cutting the carbs. Cutting out all the processed food, no refined sugars in your food at all. Sugars, if there's one food which is toxic, that's sugar. It's addictive, it's toxic, not good to your body. Tames your brain to eat more sugar and definitely leading to so many problems down the road. So cut the sugars, no processed food, cut the carbs, increase protein intake, like you said, more proteins in the diet, replacing the carbs with the proteins. I would even say replacing carbs with some fat. Now you would think, oh my God, fat. No, fat actually sometimes makes you full for a longer time. So some plant-based fats, avocado, olive oil, those kind of things, replacing that healthy fat. I'm not saying red meat, but seafood, salmon, and chicken, lean meat. Those are the things that you want to kind of add on to your diet. More fibers in the diet. Because also it would make you dissolve all the excess calories, but also at the same time make you feel fuller. So more fibers in the diet, more fluids, and having a good sleep pattern. Those are the big things I say. Sleep, big part, and we can talk a tiny bit about that sleep pattern. Why is it important for the sleep? Because again, if you have a really good night's sleep, your body is well rested. It's not in stress. If you're not in stress, you're not releasing the stress hormone, cortisol. And cortisol is a big killer when I'm talking about that, right? That's the one which is making you not able to lose the weight, which is making you keep the fat in the places that you don't need to, which is kind of also regulating your other hormones, whether, the hormones like estrogen, right, like testosterone, driving those low levels, which is eventually affecting your metabolism, also decreasing your insulin levels, and at the same time, decreasing the sensitivity of insulin to the cells. So, again, all those factors kind of combine together to make you gain weight or not lose weight. So, sleep is a very important part of all this. Coming back to how these medications work, like I said earlier, they are making you feel fuller, causing your brain to think, oh, I'm not going to eat. So people who have cravings, okay, I'm staying on this 1200 calorie diet, but then suddenly I have this craving and I can't cut over it and I need to grab something to eat right that minute. If you are with a dietitian, they would say, replace it with a healthy food. Well, yes, you can, but if you have that craving for a particular food, it's just so hard to beat. I've been there, I know it personally, and you would still seek it if you have access to it. So yeah, remove that accent, and the other part of it, these medications would decrease that craving. They would help you manage that. So yes, you still have to stick to your diet, but the medication would help you not have that craving or decrease that craving. So if you're consciously telling your brain not to eat it, it would help your brain to tell not to eat it, not to get there. The other part of it is how these programs work. Usually these medications, they make you lose weight in a sustainable way. So, I would say when I say sustainable, something that would stick to it, right? Sometimes we get on a diet for 3 months, you lost that whatever, 25, 30 pounds. Well, you stop that program. What would happen the next time? You are going to get back to your diet, and that would make you gain weight and maybe come back with a vengeance. Even people who do weight loss surgeries, if they're not changing the diet, it would happen. So changing the diet, as easy said, it's hardest thing to do. I mean, food is the biggest addiction, I would say, out of all. It's not drugs, it's not
Yeah,
alcohol, it's the food, it's the sugar.
I'm definitely addicted to food more than anything else in this world.
Right? So, and that's the addiction we all are, grown with. I mean, as babies, as child, right? I mean, we grow with it. So, leaving those habits, those which has been the part of your life, changing those is a bigger part. These medications, they help you. And I'm not saying they're going to make you do that if you're not going to make that conscious effort. You have to still do your part. If you do your part right, you just need that somebody thing to kind of get you there. That doesn't take away the importance of you working with your friend, with your coworker who are trying to help each other, but look at it as a support system right there, which would help you not to do something if you don't want to do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, hold you accountable
There you go.
for, yes, you need an accountability partner sometimes for things, for
And
sure.
again, the part of it is even though you say it's injectable, It's just once a week. I mean, it's not something. It's a teeny tiny needle, usually in the stomach, maybe upper part or inner thigh region. Very teeny tiny needle. There are some oral medications on the horizon which are coming out there too. So very soon you will be seeing those as well. But right now, yes, it's like once a weekly shot. People call it skinny shot, whatever they want to call it. But which basically helps you control your hunger, make you feel fuller, and control your cravings. Those are the biggest thing I would say when we're talking weight loss.
And when you're intaking, make sure it's not those empty carbs, not the bread, not the chips. Don't replace those empty carbs with the proteins and the healthy fats. And, instead of having potatoes for breakfast, maybe have eggs and an avocado, even a piece of toast with avocado. Just cut those. I know for me, I like tortillas and, things that are quick and I can just eat real fast. It's horrible. But yeah, I love what you're saying. There's no fad or any type of random brand new diet out there that's going to do the magic trick. It has to be done. And like you said, you have to do your work and do your part too, and do the exercise and eat those healthy foods. And I'm telling myself at the same time, you guys.
It's amazing that you're doing that. Let me tell you this, right? How many times we bring ourselves down saying that, oh, we are horrible, or we are not doing it, or we did the wrong way. Again, we are humans, right?
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's okay to get there. And that's why accountability is important, but at the same time, rewarding yourself. When you're doing things right, reward yourself. Now, not reward with food or carb. I would say reward yourself with something else. Okay, if I achieve this, maybe something non-food like, I don't know, flour, maybe, I don't know,
A new outfit.
a new outfit, right? So setting some goals, accountability is important, but if you reach it, reward yourself. But at the same time, if you don't, that's okay. Failure is the stepping stone to success, right? That's what we say all the time. So that's human, that's normal. So, considering something, the GLP-1s or medications or semaglutide or tirzepatide, considering these as your buddies, like, if you are like, you teach Pilates, right? People come to learn from you, but also in meantime, you want them to be doing something on their own, right? So you are their coach, you are the director doing that, and then they maintain the healthy lifestyle outside of that class, because that's not enough. Same thing with these. I mean, think that as your buddy that is helping you get to that healthy lifestyle if you are planning to do that, right? So I'm going to give myself 6 months where I'm going to be on this, maintain that healthy lifestyle, be good at it. And once we get off of it, we will still continue to maintain, because now you broke that cycle. Now you got into that healthy pattern and you can maintain it.
Yes. So you've been talking a lot about these programs. So if you will, just explain a little bit what you offer at Youthology, what kind of weight loss programs you have, and how people can get in touch with you. Obviously, your information will be in the description, but yes, tell us about your programs that you have.
Absolutely. So we do offer medical weight loss programs here at Youthology. The program is designed to gear you towards your success, right? So we offer semaglutide in micro doses, in very small doses, beginning doses, to help you control your appetite and then kind of staying on the diet program. We don't take you off your diet if you're on a diet program. We want you to sustain and maintain that. If you're on sort of a combination of a diet and exercise program, we want you to continue that. There is no specific diet out there, but basic broad outlines. So, again, anybody doing specific diet, they can do it. Anybody not doing the diet, they can still do it. They will still have to set some goals for themselves, that this is my calorie intake, this is how I'll take it, this is where I'll replace that. I, as a physician, and my team out here, we coach you, we help you, we handhold you to go through that journey. People do come, they get weekly medication, they get counseling. When you are here signing up for the program, we have an extensive history taking and physical examination to determine you what are the things in your lifestyle that are holding you back, that are not making you lose weight. What would help you, so kind of gear you in the direction that this would be something that you can do that lead to your success, right? Determining if you're a candidate. These are medical drugs, right? So there are certain people who are actually not the candidates. So there are certain exclusions. There are very few, but there are still some exclusions out there. So we do all that in your initial consult. Definitely do an extensive physical exam, making sure where you are with your overweight. I mean, again, only if you're overweight, you can achieve these programs. Determining that part, then exercise where you are with that. Definitely starting out with some basic exercise if you're not physically active, you have a sedentary job, setting some outline there that this is something which can be helpful, helping you out with that. Weekly, we kind of do check-ins. We do extensive lab works and checkup to make sure, your liver kidneys are fine. Where are your cholesterol numbers? Where is your blood sugar? Is there any hormonal changes there which are kind of keeping you for not losing weight? So, determining the medical part, ruling that out, and if you are a candidate, we enroll you in the program. We offer semaglutide and we offer tirzepatide. Along with that, we offer B12, which is the vitamin which would help you reset your metabolism and would help you work on the program better. Also give you some energy right there. We also offer lipo shots, methionine, inositol, choline shots. Those are the fat burner shots. So basically doing those in combination. So if you're trying to lose weight, but then trying to get in shape as well, they would kind of help you get in shape. So on the first visit, you would be seeing me. We sit down, we do that extensive evaluation. Once you're in candidate, we enroll you in the program. You stay on the program. And then we also determine your exit journey right there. So when we are starting out, we also have a plan on how would you exit from the program, per se the medication. What would be the end point? Typically, I would say 6 months, give or take, is minimum we would want you to be on the program to reset that lifestyle changes, to dial those in your lifestyle, healthy eating habits, exercise, calorie intake, having some basic education and giving you that tool as you go forward in your journey to continue with that regardless of what you do. So those are certain things we do as a part of medical practice. And then of course there is diet education, there is peer group support, finding a peer, maybe bring a friend, enrolling together. Those are the things that would be something I would recommend you should consider when you are coming in.
Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. I love that. Okay, so obviously Dr. Agarwal has lots of amazing weight loss programs. If there's anyone out there that's interested, contact Dr. Agarwal at Youthology. And not only she has a huge weight loss program side of her practice, but you guys know she has all the aesthetics that you could imagine as well. What specials do you guys have going on at Youthology this month for April, actually?
Well, that's my happy part, right? Aesthetics, right? So, of course, health, wellness, and aesthetics, they all tie together, right? We call it healthy body, healthy mind, healthy skin.
There you go. Yeah.
So, specials this month, particularly, let me read through because we have a filler special going on this month for 500 per syringe. We have great laser hair removal packages, whether you do full legs or full arms for just $7.99. A small area add-on you can do just for $99, and that's 6 sessions. Which mind at 6 sessions, the cost is really very competitive here. We are also doing micro needling with salmon facial. It's a buzz,
I
right?
see that.
So that's something amazing. Gives the greatest glow to your skin, improves your skin from inside out, helps with fine line, wrinkles, texture, tone. So that's a special going on for just $6.99. Then we have Zeo Skin Health. We call it medical grade skincare. So if you buy $250, you get a Zeo skincare gift. And we also have great memberships for wrinkle relaxers. So if you are somebody who is interested in wrinkle relaxers, we have a Botox membership and we have a Xeomin membership. Xeomin is another form of wrinkle relaxers, which is, people call it natural Botox because it's not tied to the protein. So a lot of people who are more conscious about diet and they're vegan, they can come for Xeomin. So Xeomin memberships are less $125 per month and the cost per unit comes to less than $7 a unit. So they get the toxin every 3 months, and the cost for the toxin is less than $7 a unit with that Xeomin membership. With the Botox membership, I believe it's $165 per month, but the cost comes to less than $10 a unit. Amazing memberships. If you guys are interested, we would love to see you here. Whether you're getting started in your weight loss journey, where you're somewhere in the middle of it, we are here for you. And of course, we offer all things aesthetics and beauty. So we would love to see you here.
Yes, go see Dr. Agarwal. She's so great. Staff is amazing. The office is beautiful. You definitely feel that spa feel when you go in there, and you definitely get the treatment too, I will say. Because I've been in there a few times, just saying. And I'll be in there tomorrow, actually.
I'm waiting for you.
But yeah, guys, so summer is coming, spring is coming. Dr. Agarwal, she dropped a whole bunch of stuff on us today. Great information. Before we go, I forgot to mention in the beginning, you guys, that Dr. Agarwal ran a marathon this past weekend. How was it?
Oh yeah, it was lovely. Perfect day to do that. I want to correct you there, Diana. I didn't run a marathon. I did enroll in Bakersfield marathon. That's my goal one day for sure. For now, I only did 6K.
Oh, the 6K. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the 6K run. My daughter did, and my 19-year-old, she did a marathon. That was her birthday goal. So she made it and she did. So I'm so proud of her.
Oh, that's great.
He's got out there and supported her and did a 6K. That was my goal, to start out this April month healthy. And yeah, it was amazing. So many, and actually, great way to be with the community, to see so many friends out there, to enjoy with the family. I mean, that's the time we spend as a family. I have two twin daughters. They did a 10K. My husband and I did a 6K.
Wow.
And my older one, she did a marathon. She ran a marathon. So yeah, that's our family time together. We love to do things like these, hiking, trekking. So yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. I forgot that, yes, your daughters are twins, but I didn't know that you had an older daughter too.
She's just
Wow.
yeah, she's the one in college, and
Okay.
she's the one who was like, it's my birthday, so it was her birthday, and that's what she wanted for a birthday gift.
That's so
Wanted us
amazing.
to run with her, so she was the one giving us there.
That's great. A 6K. Wow. Okay, so marathon is like 26 miles or something like that, right? Okay, definitely.
So yeah, they were saying, and this is so interesting. They were saying this. Oh, on a scale of 1 to 10, you are 26.2 for the people who are marathon, 26.2 miles. So that was amazing.
There is no way I could do 26 miles. I don't even think I could do a 6K. I might be able to do the small one. What's that? Like a mile and a half? What do they call that? A
You'll
half
be
marathon?
fine. You easily can do a 6K. If I can do it, you can do it, right? Let's do it together. I'm already
Okay.
out there. Let's plan something together. Maybe a 5K, not a 6K, 5K. How about that?
I'm gonna put some stuff in my fanny pack for us. A little snack. Oh my gosh.
So many snacks out there. So many wonderful people out there.
Yes, healthy snacks, healthy snacks. Well, thank you for coming again. Next month, actually in May, is going to be mental health awareness month. So Shweta or Dr. Agarwal will be back, and we're going to be talking about mental health and all of those things. Before we wrap, Shweta, what is your ambitious goal for the week?
Oh gosh, what's my ambitious goal? Now that I ran a 6K,
Now that you ran a 6K, what's next?
this is my goal for this week, and I'm very honest with that goal. My goal is to cut my carbs this week. Cut my carbs. So that's my biggest, battle. And I feel if one food which I can cut in my diet would be carbs. So mainly the breads. So cutting my carbs, and if I can achieve that goal, I mean, even if I can cut my bread to half of what I consume, usually lunches are my good meals, but here and there I get so snacky. That's where my carbs come in, chips comes in. So that's my goal for this week, cutting the carbs to some extent. So next week can be healthier.
Yes. You know what? I'm going to piggyback on that because I've been wanting to cut the carbs too, because I'm one of those women with that belly fat, the little tiny pooch that just won't go away. So I'm going to cut some carbs this week because I've been really bad. So I'm going to piggyback on your answer. We could do this.
We can do this. And I'm going to leave everybody here with some SMART goals. So, SMART goals, I'm going to elaborate that. Specific, the goals should be specific, right? They should be measurable. They should be attainable, like you can attain it. They should be relatable, right? You can relate to it. It's not like something out of the box. And they should be time bound. So, I like this weekly goal because it's time bound, right? It's smart. It's time bound. We can relate to it, right? We are going to achieve it. It's attainable. Let's try that. We can measure it. How much did we do? And that's what makes it specific. So SMART goals is what my advice would be.
Love it. We're going to end on that note, guys. Thank you again, and we will see Dr. Agarwal back next month. Thanks for joining. Thank you. Have a good week, guys. Bye.
And thank you, everybody. Bye.